starring Chuck Connors.
It's no use.
Long time for the pump to go out. We come back from a 2-week hunting trip and can't even take a bath.
You go out and see how much is in the rain barrel, will you?
All right. Paul, here comes Jim Oxford.
Hello, Jim.
Howdy, Lucas. Mark, when'd you get back?
Oh, about an hour ago.
I got a pump valve for you. Woman down at the store asked me to drop it off. She said you had it on order.
That's right, over a month. Couldn't have come at a better time. Oh.
What's the matter?
That's the wrong size. Hattie ought to know better than that.
I reckon so. She'd been the one who sent it out.
What do you mean?
Well, ain't you hurt? Of course you ain't. You've been back up in the mountains. Hattie don't run the store no more.
Hattie?
She went up to Denver about 10 days ago. Said her sister or somebody needed her.
She sold out?
That's right. There's a new lady now, Mildred Scott. She come down from Santa Fe. Bought the place. If you ask me, she sure doesn't know her business.
Jim, I can't believe Hattie left without saying goodbye.
She didn't have no choice. You weren't here.
Gee, somebody else in the store. That's sure gonna make it different.
That's right, son. Wait till you meet her. I never seen such a mixed-up female in my whole life. Oh, I better get going.
Bye, Jim. Well, son, maybe we better go in and meet her. We're gonna have to exchange this valve. What in the world is...
But you've got to have it. Hattie was never out of it. She knew I needed it. She always kept it on hand. It eases the pain in my back. Oh, you've just simply got to have it. It's called Dr. Buttram Super Tonic. And it comes in a brown bottle. And you must look behind behind those dishes. No, I don't have it. I don't like that. You know, it's not around here. It looks like everywhere. Well, maybe it's... Oh, look, everybody, please. Look, I'm just getting settled here. I've got to make my inventory. If you would just come back later.
But you don't understand.
Badly. Would you please go? I'm terribly sorry.
I'm awfully sorry, Miss Millie.
That's all right, Marshall. Just leave it there. Come back tomorrow, would you?
Well, Miss, Oh, Miss Millie, this is Lucas McCain and his boy, Mark. I was telling you about them.
Oh, yes. How do you do? Excuse me.
How was the hunting trip, Lucas?
Fine. Oh, good, Micah, fine.
We've got 3 deer hanging in the cooler.
Oh, good. I get invited to a steak dinner?
Oh, anytime, Micah. That is, if you don't have too much work left to do.
The marshal was kind enough to help me out. He was the only one. Well, you saw how everyone else acted. Oh. This place is in such a mess, I think I could use some of Dr. Buttram's tonic myself.
Now, look, Miss Scott, I don't want to add to your troubles, but this pump valve you sent out to me with Jim Oxford is the wrong one.
Wrong one?
Mm-hmm.
But how could it be?
It doesn't fit the pump.
Well, it came all the way from Santa Fe, collect on the stage. Hattie Denton must have written up the order wrong or something.
Probably.
What do you want me to do with it?
Take it back and order the right one, ma'am.
Mr. McCain, I'm not set up to do business, much less start exchanging merchandise.
And we don't want to spend the rest of our life getting our bath water out of a rain barrel either.
Well, I'm sure that's your concern, and not mine.
Now, wait a minute, Miss Scott. What are you going to do about the valve? You going to take it back or not?
You know, I'm afraid you just don't understand, Mr. McCain. I just bought this business. I put a lot of money into it, practically every cent I've got. Well, I paid for that for you. You didn't even put a deposit on it, and now you want me to send it back.
Of course I do.
People here will think that whoever owns the store is a bank. When I took Hattie Denton's accounts receivable, I didn't realize it included practically the whole town. Don't people around here pay money? Or don't they have any money?
Look, Miss Scott. It's been a pretty dry year. Crops haven't been too good. Folks been having to sell off cattle to make ends meet. I'm gonna have to do the same thing myself.
Well, maybe you better get at it instead of going off hunting.
That was our winter meat we were after.
Well, I hope you got plenty. You're going to need it. Let's see here. Now, McCain, Lucas. McCain, Lucas. Yes, here it is. $32.
Just a minute, Miss Scott.
Going back
Hattie
over
Denton
2 months.
always kept a running account for me just like everybody else in North Fork.
Well, I'm not Hattie Denton. I can't afford it. There'll be no more credit in this store for anyone until all these accounts are paid up. Now, if you'd like to bring yours up to date.
Well, don't you worry about it, Miss Scott. It'll be taken care of. Come on, son.
Oh, Lucas, wait a minute.
What's the matter with her anyway?
Now, calm down.
She figures she owns the town or something?
Well, aside from the bank over there, she practically does.
Now, what do you mean by that, Mike?
She told you. That ledger book. She's carrying an awful lot of folks.
Well, what's a store for? People around here are good for it. Hattie knew that.
Yes, but Miss Scott doesn't know it yet. She's really a nice person, Lucas. It's just that, well, starting up in a new town, new business. I'm afraid she isn't too impressed with North Fork.
Well, I don't think North Fork's very impressed with her either. You know, Jim Oxford was right when he said she didn't know her business.
She doesn't.
Well, I'm glad you admit it.
She was a school teacher up at Santa Fe before she came down here.
A school teacher?
That's right, a school teacher. She came into a small inheritance, said she always wanted to go into business by herself, and, well, when she heard Hattie was selling out, she came down and made a deal. Now, give her a chance, Lucas, boy.
Look, Mike, I'd be happy to give her a chance if she'd just be a little bit reasonable.
Oh, time will take care of that.
A school teacher?
All right, Mike. What do you want me to do? Go back in there and apologize?
Well, now, I wouldn't rush it. Give her a few days. Come on, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. And maybe a piece of chocolate pie.
Are you going to buy it or serve it?
Huh? Oh.
Come on, son. Marty, tell me something. How long we been knocking around from one cowtown to another?
Well, too long, I'd say. Now, Denver, there's the town. But standing here at this bar ain't gonna get us any closer to it.
What's in Denver? What do we do there?
Well, we always been able to find something.
Yeah, that's just what I mean. No, I think we found the opportunity we've been looking for right here.
You mean here?
Well, let's say, over there. Across the street in that store.
Now, I ain't gonna work in no store.
Well, who is? But that's the only supply point in better than 100 miles. People don't seem to realize how important that store is to them. Why, if it wasn't there, they wouldn't have any place to buy what they need.
Now, what are you talking about?
You know how to use that gun, don't you?
I've been known to use it, yeah.
Well, that's all you need to know. You just stay here and leave the rest to me.
Hey, now, Jack, come on.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
I just don't know. I mean, how would it look?
Well, I'm afraid it would look much worse if you went out of business, Miss Scott. After all, it is your money. They owe it to you. Now, how are you going to help them and supply them with what they need if they don't help you and pay what they owe?
I just don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Well, now, why should you care about that? I saw how they treated you. They don't care about you. Miss Scott, business is business. And you're not going to have one unless you put your foot down and get those bills collected.
You won't offend them. I mean, I don't want to make any enemies if I can help it. There was a man that came in earlier today. I shouldn't have spoken to him the way I did, but, well, I was so...
I know exactly how you feel. But believe me, the sooner all this is cleared up, the better it'll be for everybody. They'll respect you for it. Now, I'm a newcomer to North Fork just like you. I don't want to create any bad impressions either. I'll just ride out to your customers and talk to them in a nice, friendly way. Before you know it, all that money will be paid in and things will be just fine.
That would be nice. But where would that leave you?
Oh, don't worry about that. You can give me, 10% of what I collect for you.
I just don't know what to say. I do need help, only
Only what, ma'am?
I hardly know you. You're a stranger.
Well, I hardly know you. Well, I guess we'll just have to trust each other, hmm? No one else has offered to help, have they?
Well, there was the marshal.
Oh. But he's not a storekeeper.
All right. Let's try it. We'll see what happens.
You won't be sorry. Now, if you just give me the ledger book, why, I'll get started right away.
All right. There you are.
Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Adams.
Yes?
You will be nice about it, won't you?
Of course I will. Don't worry about a thing. Marty? Our new business.
That's our new business? What kind of business is that?
Money. Collecting money. Let's see here. McCain. Ah. Lucas McCain.
Who's that?
Our first customer.
Better give me some more water, son.
Oh, all right.
What's the matter? You afraid I'm going to waste it?
Well, this has got to last till morning. And you didn't haul it up from the creek, I did.
All right, Mark.
That Miss Scott, she sure made a fuss out of nothing. But how come you didn't pay her off? We've got the $32 and, well, more than enough for the new pump, though.
Well, son, I'll pay her. But right now, it's a matter of proper money handling. We've got the money, but I don't want to spend it till I know there's going to be more to replace it.
Oh, you mean like selling our cattle?
That's right. That heifer down in the south pasture, she's about ready for market. In a day or so, we'll take her in, sell her, and then we'll pay Miss Scott. You take a ranching and farming town like North Fork. That's the way everybody does business. They have to. Hattie knew it, and she never lost a cent by it. It's sort of a matter of mutual trust.
I don't think Miss Scott trusts anybody.
Now, Mark, like Micah said, let's give her a chance. After all, a woman starting a new business, I guess it gets to be a little lonely, worrisome. We make amends, and I'm sure she'll turn out to be just as good a friend as Hattie was.
Paul?
Hmm?
You think she's pretty?
She's pretty. Why?
Oh, well, I just saw the way you were looking at her.
Oh? How did I look at her?
Well, you know.
Son, those dishes aren't going to dry themselves, you know.
Good evening, Mr. McCain.
I know you.
Well, not exactly. My name is Adams.
What can I do for you, Mr. Adams?
Well, my friend here and I are just paying a neighborly visit. We're making North Fork our home, and we're acquiring an interest in the business here.
All right. What kind of business?
The general store.
I thought Miss Scott was running the general store.
Well, she is. We're just helping her.
Oh.
Now, Mr. McCain, there's a little item in the ledger here for about $32 that you owe us. We came to collect it.
You what?
$32. We came to collect it. And seeing as how we're having to make this special effort, you can just add 20% to that amount for our trouble.
She sends you out here?
Why else would we come?
Well, you can turn those horses around and tell Miss Scott I'll be in tomorrow. Personally.
Now, please. I said this was a neighborly visit. We don't want any trouble. All we want is what's rightfully ours.
Maybe you didn't hear me too well.
Mr. McCain, I believe in giving a man fair warning. You've got a lot to lose here for just $32.
Get out of here.
Anything you say. Only next time we won't talk so much. And maybe you won't have that rifle with you.
What was it you said, Paul? About Miss Scott winding up being a real good friend?
There you are, ma'am. Almost $300, and I haven't even started yet.
This is wonderful. Now, how much do I owe you?
Well, nothing, ma'am. I've already taken it out, if you don't mind. It's all noted right here. I made a copy so you can keep this.
I hardly know what to say.
Well, you don't have to say anything. It's a pleasure. Now, I'd better get back to work. Hello there. Nice day.
Good morning.
I want some corn syrup.
Corn syrup. Oh, yes, here it is. Here you are.
Never mind your ledger this time. I got the money right here.
I don't understand.
Miss Scott, I'm only going to say this once. I get my supplies here because it's the only place. If there was another food store in this town, you'd never see me again.
But why?
Maybe I can answer that, Miss Scott.
What happened to your face? Why don't you ask her?
What was he talking about?
You got a man working for you named Adams collecting money?
Well, yes, I do. Why?
People aren't going to take to that, Miss Scott.
Oh, really? Well, there's $300 in there that wasn't there yesterday.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Well, certainly there's no harm in asking people to pay up. I mean, well, I know I was a little abrupt with you and some of the others yesterday, but, well, how else am I going to stay in business?
You ask a question like that?
Yeah, Miss Scott, you can mark me paid up for good, $32.50.
Well, honestly, I'm sorry if I offended anyone, but I'm simply trying to run this business as a business. You can't give things away, you know.
Now, look, Miss Scott, nobody's asking you to give anything but a little bit of yourself. The people around here depend on this general store for practically all their supplies. Now, somebody without feeling and without consideration can make a pretty good thing of that, just like you and Adams are doing, lining your pockets with gold, so to speak. Now, Hattie Denton wasn't that way. She loved people and she understood them. That was more important to her than a full cash box. Maybe you better start thinking like that before you wind up the loneliest person in North Fork.
Miss Scott, can I give you a piece of advice?
What else, Marshal?
You get rid of that man and his partner, or I will.
Now, listen here, Marshal. You can't tell me how to run... Partner?
How you doing, son?
Fine. 2 more and I'll have enough for 1 bath.
Good. Better hurry, though. It's getting dark out.
All right. Paul?
That's Jim Oxford's rig. Jim? Jim? Good Lord, Jim, what happened?
They jumped me. They stole my money. I tried to fight them off. Supply bill, $92. They shot me. They left me for dead for $92.
Mark, we've got to get him to Doc Burge right away. Go in the house, son, and get me some blankets.
That's who.
Easy, Jim. Easy now.
Yeah.
Try not to talk, Jim. Easy. Easy.
Hey.
Mark, hurry up with those blankets, son. Supply bill.
was coming over to see you.
Would this be your partner?
Partner, ma'am? Well, Marty here, he works for me from time to time.
I see. Have you collected any more money?
Some. I haven't counted it all.
Tell me, Mr. Adams, the people you took the money from, did they give it to you of their own free will?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean, Miss Scott. How else would they pay?
Maybe a little friendly persuasion helped?
Wait for me at the hotel, Mark.
What's she talking about?
Well, I couldn't say. What are you talking about, ma'am?
Your collection methods. There was a man who came in the store today.
Adams, I want to talk to you.
What about, Marshal?
We just came from the dock. He's tending to Jim Oxford. He was pistol whipped and shot through the shoulder just to collect the $92 supply bill from him.
You couldn't have. Marshal, I swear, I didn't...
Now, just a minute. Who said we did anything?
Jim Oxford said. You left him for dead, that's what he said.
We don't know nothing about that.
You know how it feels, a beating like you gave him? Either one of you ever been shot?
I tell you, we did nothing. He drew a gun.
Jim Oxford never carried a gun in his life.
You're under arrest, both of you. You'll cool your heels in jail till Oxford's well enough to testify. Now move.
What have I done? How could I have been so stupid? Can you ever forgive me, Marshal?
Miss Millie, I've seen a lot of things happen in this town, good and bad. This isn't the first time there's been a misunderstanding. But you'll see when the folks find out the truth, things will start to brighten up for you.
Thank you, Marshal.
Looks like you're gonna need a new pane of glass in that window, Miss Scott.
There you are, Mr. Penn. Now, will there be anything else?
No, that's all today.
Now, just a minute. I know you haven't sold your cattle. You can pay me when you get your money.
Well, I do appreciate that, ma'am.
And if you need anything else, you just come right back here and get it, huh?
Thanks ever so much.
Goodbye. Mark, you getting everything in the right place?
Oh, I hope so.
Oh, now this doesn't look like it's in the right place.
Huh?
There. That's where it belongs. I don't know how I can thank you all, Lucas.
You don't have to thank us, Millie. But maybe you can help Micah figure out what that is.
You know, the next time I lock somebody up, I just think I'll put them in one of these. That'd sure be worse than going to jail.